In this video, I'm going to talk about the chart of accounts. The chart of accounts is a list of account names and their account numbers, and this will be set up when the business is started. And that's because financial transactions are recorded in these accounts. Now, the names of the accounts can be company specific or industry specific. For example, if it's a law firm, they might call their revenue account legal fee income. Or if they're a landscaping business, they might call their revenue account landscaping income. There will be similarities between different companies. For example, everyone probably has an advertising expense account, but there might be some variations to how it's named. So I very rarely see two companies with the exact same chart of accounts. And then also accounts can have sub-accounts. This is not a requirement. This is just an optional thing. For example, you might have payroll expenses as the main account for payroll, but then have subcategories or sub-accounts for gross wages, employee benefits, payroll taxes, and things like that. So whether you do sub-accounts just varies based on how the business wants the information presented on the reports. Accounts are sorted by account type, and there's 5 main account types, and I recommend you are familiar with these main account types before you start creating accounts in your chart of accounts. And I talked about this in video number 1, in lesson number 1, and I have a list with examples on my website. And the main account types are assets, liabilities, equity, revenue, and expenses. If you're using an accounting program or software, such as QuickBooks or Wave or FreshBooks or Xero or some other program like that, a lot of times they'll come with a basic chart of accounts with a very small list of accounts to get you started. You can certainly use that, or a lot of times it will allow you to import your own chart of accounts. Or you can just use what you have in that program and add to it or edit those accounts. And then I just want to mention that you can add accounts over time. Most businesses change and grow over time, and new situations come up, and they might need to add accounts for those new situations. And then I also want to talk a little bit about account numbers. These are optional. They are recommended. Basically, all you do is assign a number to every account, and it just gives an extra layer of organization to your accounting. If you have a really long chart of accounts and you have accounts with similar names, it's definitely better to have the account number also so that you can make sure you're using the right account. Or if you have multiple employees handling your accounting, it might be easier for them to communicate if there's account numbers, because when they're sending emails to each other, they can just name the account number, and that's shorter to write and it's more specific. So it might be helpful in those situations. And it's easier for me to show you this by actually looking at a chart of accounts. So let me show you an example. This is an example of what a chart of accounts might look like. Now, of course, in a real company, the chart of accounts is probably going to be longer. There would probably be more accounts in this. But you can see that all the assets are in the 1,000 range, all the liabilities are in the 2,000 range, and so on. And this makes it easier to stay organized. And then it also makes it easier for communication, because if you're emailing someone else in the company about a certain account, as soon as they see something in the 5,000 range, they automatically know you're referring to an expense account. So it just makes things a little easier, especially if you have a larger company and a really long chart of accounts. But you certainly don't have to use the account numbers. If you have a small business where it's just you, maybe you don't need the numbers assigned to each account. And then notice in this example, I have spaces in between the numbers. Cash on hand is 1,000, checking is 1,005, savings is 1,010. This is just so I can add account numbers later. Like if I add an additional checking account, I might add that as 1006 or 1007. So it's just leaving space in between for additional accounts later. Now what I want to do is look at a sample chart of accounts in Wave and in QuickBooks so you can see what this might look like for a company. So this is Wave, and you can see that the main account types are up here at the top, but then they have these sub account types in here. So let's look at adding a new account so we can see what it might be like to add an account. So first you have to choose the account type, and you want to make sure you get the account in the right main category, especially because different account types go on different reports. So you would want to choose the main account type and then choose one of these other sub account types in here. Just use whatever makes sense, whatever seems closest to what you are creating. So I'm just going to add a credit card, and I would put in my account name. And then if I wanted to assign an account number for this, I would do that here under account ID. And then I would just save. I'm not going to actually save this though. Now, if you'll notice, Wave does not give me an option to add a sub account. So I am not able to add sub accounts in this program. Now let's look at QuickBooks. So QuickBooks is going to be a little more elaborate. It's a more expensive subscription. It does have more features than Wave, and you can see already that it does have sub accounts. It does allow you to do sub accounts. Now for the actual account type, it's not as easy to figure out the account type in here because, like, for example, it says bank here, and you would have to know that a bank account is an asset account. So it's not as straightforward as Wave was. But let me show you adding a new account so we can just see what this looks like. So I would go new, I would give it a name. Let's just do credit card again. Here is where I give it the main account type. And again, you would have to know that these are all assets, or it would be helpful to know that these are all assets, the first 5, and then these 2 are liabilities. These are liabilities. Equity is obvious. Income would be your revenue, and then cost of goods sold and expenses and other expense would be expenses. And then after you choose an account type here, then there's some other options over on this side. And just again, do the best you can, just like Wave, where I said just pick something that seems the closest. That's what you need to do here. So let me actually choose one that'll have more options. Like if I choose other current liabilities, it's going to ask me which one of these is the sub detail type, which is this column right here. So just do the best you can. And then for account numbers, here's where I would put the account number. You do have to turn this feature on in QuickBooks. So let me actually show you how to turn this setting on for account numbers. You would go to the gear icon, account and settings, advanced, and here is where it says enable account numbers. So you'll want to turn that on. And before I end the video, I just want to clarify what a sub account is, or what I mean by sub account. Earlier I said in QuickBooks, this truck account had a sub account of depreciation and original cost. And all that means is the totals of the sub accounts will add up to the total of the main account, the parent account. So let's look at a profit and loss so I can show you a few examples of what this might look like. Okay, so we're going to actually look at the profit and loss, and you can see that there's several accounts with sub accounts. Like this landscaping services has a sub account of job materials and labor, And then each of those sub-accounts have sub-accounts as well. And then the total of landscaping services is down here. So you can put this detail in your accounts if you want to. It's not a requirement, and this is an option in QuickBooks, but it was not an option in Wave. And if you're using a different program, you'll have to check that program to see if that's an option for you. To make something a sub-account, when you're creating the account, you would just choose this, make this a sub-account button or box. So I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below, and I'll see you in the next lesson.